BBC, BBC Radio Merseyside.
And welcome to a very special Phillips phone-in. For the next 2 hours, we're going to explore the issues around the forthcoming EU referendum with a panel of 3 Remainers and 3 Leavers and an audience equally divided between the 2 camps who already, or some of them, have given us their questions. We're also inviting you to ring in on 0151 709 9333 or email us on roger.phillips@bbc.co.uk or text on 81333 with Mersey in front of your text with the questions you'd like to put to the panel. Let me begin by introducing them. The leader, the Labour MP for St Helens North, Conor McGinn, who is a Remainer, the leader of the Lib Dems in Liverpool, Councillor Rich Kemp, another Remainer, and the leader of the Sefton Lib Dems, Councillor Sue Maguire, also in the Remain camp. In the Leave camp, the Vice Chairman of UKIP North West, John Bickley, from Tusk, the Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, Tony Mulhern, and a Conservative candidate for Sefton Council in the recent local elections, John Lyon Taylor. Each of them are now going to have 1 minute to tell us why they want to stay or leave Europe. I'm going to start with the Remains. Conor, again, your minute is running now.
I think Britain is safer, stronger and better off in Europe, and I think leaving the EU would risk our prosperity, threaten our safety and diminish our influence in the world. Our economy and workers' rights are stronger. In the North West, we expect £13.5 billion of goods to the EU, and close to 500,000 jobs are linked to the EU. We're safer in the European Union. Many of the threats to Britain's security are global in nature. Crime, terrorism and climate change crosses borders, and international cooperation is essential to tackling these. EU funding supports regions. In the North West, we've received £1 billion of structural funds and are due to receive the same again by 2020, supporting regional development, investment in business and opportunities for young people. This is about Britain's future. Our future is better served as a strong, confident, outward-facing country working in partnership with the EU to face the big challenges ahead.
Thank you, Conor. Now, Councillor Sue Maguire, also a Leave campaign, a Remain campaign. Ooh, you look really shocked then.
Remain.
But by the end of the debate, she may well have changed her views. Go on, Sue.
Okay, Britain is stronger, safer and better off in Europe, exactly as Conor said. But I wanted to highlight 3 personal reasons why I'm arguing for Remain. Our children's future. I want our children and our grandchildren to grow up in an environment that gives them the best opportunities and job prospects, with the possibility, I don't know, working in Bootle, Berlin, Barcelona. We need to be positive and we need to engage. Pulling up the drawbridge is a backward step which will reduce that opportunity. Business, I'm a businesswoman. We have great manufacturing here, automotive, chemical, aerospace, and all of those businesses are made up of integrated supply chains, and that links businesses across Europe. A vote to leave won't strengthen those chains. It will make Britain the weakest link. And then finally, really personal, my husband is an immigrant. He's from Ireland. And I have real concerns about what a vote to leave will do to our relationships with our closest neighbour. Are we looking at borders between North and South?
Your minute is up, and thank you for that. And Councillor Richard Kemp, yet another and the final third Remainer on our panel.
If I was asking people to just concentrate on one issue during this referendum, I'd ask them to concentrate on the economy, trade, jobs, work, call it what you will. We are the 5th biggest economy in the world, and we maintain that position because we're part of the EU. We're the biggest inward investors, place for inward investment in the whole of the EU, and we maintain that position because people want to use this country as an access to the 600 million people market. It's not just the people from the Remain campaign who say that. We can also take every single independent investor. We can take every single major trade association. We can take every single chamber of commerce, and we can take the views of people as diverse as the President of India, the President of the United States, and the Prime Minister of Canada, New Zealand, Australia. They believe their country is better protected if we are in the EU.
Thank you very much indeed. That's Councillor Richard Kemp. And on the Leave side, Vice Chairman of UKIP North West is going to John Bickley going to tell us why he argues the way he does.
Well, in 1973, my parents and grandparents were told by a Tory government we're going to join the EEC. They were lied to. It was more than just a trade agreement. It was the start of a European superstate. In 1975, my parents and grandparents were asked to vote again, along with myself. Again, we were lied to. we were told it was just an economic arrangement. And for the last 43 years, the Labour, Tory and Lib Dems have been lying to us and misleading us about the aims of the EU project. They want to become a superstate. And I want us to be a confident, self-governing nation again. Now, you fooled me and my parents in 1973. You're not going to fool me again on June the 23rd. I want my country back.
Very neat and short and to the point, and under your minute, which is great. From Tusk, the Trade Union and Socialist Coalition, Tony Mulhern.
Thanks, Roger. Well, during this campaign, one is tempted just to sit back and witness the Tory grandees scrambling around attempting to knife each other in the throat. But make no mistake about it, these two groups are the same side of the single coin. Inside the EU, they have spent the last few years implementing policies that have seen a massive transfer of wealth from the pockets of working people into the wallets of their already rich friends. I recall very clearly in 1975 in the campaign against the common market, Eric Heffer and Tony Benn said that the common market is a club for the fat cats. Never a truer word has been spoken. And I don't make the slightest concession to the demagogues and the racists in the Brexit camp. I say a plague on both their houses. Tusk stands for a very clear, distinct alternative to Europe.
But Tony, I'm sure
we're in favour.
But I'm sure you'll be able to tell us more about that future for Tusk in a moment. And final leave is John Lyne Taylor.
Why I think we should leave is because it's not what we voted for. I remember when we voted, and we voted for a common market of trading nations. Nothing more. The EU was foisted upon us by dishonest politicians. Throughout history, we have been an independent country, running our own affairs, making our own decisions, and during that time we were successful in building an empire and the Commonwealth and becoming the 5th largest economy in the world. And we have an excellent track record of looking after ourselves and our dependent countries. In the EU, we cannot control our destiny, we cannot run our own affairs, we can't decide what is best for us in the UK. Those decisions are made by others who don't have our best interests at heart and are bound by rules and regulations designed for 28 member states, which satisfy none and aggravate many. EU regulations cost 600 million a year.
I'm afraid chance up there, John, but I'm sure you'll have a chance to tell us how much everything costs as we go along. Now, before we